age of 18 years. With regard to the salient features of the Act, our Lordship, Honorable Sir Justice Dama Seshadri Garu, the resource person, SR, was the petitioner of the prosecutor working in Dama district.
Judiciary is one of the ablest judicial officers at a higher level and soon to occupy a higher post, the Principal District Judge, Sri Garu. Then today's guest of honor, Srimati M. Mamata, Chairperson, RASS State Resource Center, social activist and researcher of distinction. And also, I should be thanking and also mentioning the name of Sri Ravindra Babu, who has spoken very kind of me as well. And I mark him as one of the most erudite officers I have come across among the judiciary as well. The police officers, the media as I could see, and the other judicial officers whom I call my colleagues, because we all discharge the same function at different levels. The President of the Bar Association of Tirupati, Sri Ramana, the other invitees and the dignitaries, who include some advocates coming from far off places, my friends, my relatives who have been here, and my erstwhile client, and my senior, my friend Garu, and all of you. Thank you. You have been here for this occasion. Usually, since it's been facilitated by RASS, I presume all of you know about this glorious institution or organization. Since I was born and brought up here, I took it for granted because it's been here around since 1980. Last night, since I lived here and it's been organized by RASS, I thought I should know a little deeper. Mind you, before I was elevated to the bench, one of my last cases as an advocate I have handled was from RASS. So that's why I have referred to RASS as my client as well. And most inspiring and towering personality could ever come across, at least in this arid part of the state, is Dr. Naidu. He has got many accolades, which are not enough given his dedication. You must be aware that Constitution always abhors stratification. The mantra of Constitution is equity or equality. As you could see, the cornerstone of Constitution, the fulcrum, the whole of it depends on two principal articles, that is Article 14 and the 21. And the rest gives the arch, the shape to the fundamental rights we have. That's why among the authorities, constitutional authorities, they're not being in hierarchy. There are certain practical difficulties when you don't have this hierarchical organizational setup. We have devised a method that's primus inter pares. Primus inter pares means first among equals. And when I checked the RASS website last night for information, I could see a gallery of great and eminent personalities who contributed their might for the growth of this organization. Beginning with the inspirational ideas imparted by Sri N.G. Ranga, one of the greatest parliamentarians India has ever seen. Then Sri Rajagopal Naidu, a Gandhian in the truest sense. I had the fortune of interacting with him and discussing a couple of chapters when he was writing Ramayana in English. Then Deshmukh, Srimati, she was also founder, member and also subsequently chairperson of this organization. And when I've seen that, in the end, what attracted me was the organizational setup as they've described. They've said there are no hierarchies here, not even first among equals. That's what they have said. They have said all these people have contributed for the noble cause, but among them, it could be from the highest cadre of perhaps Dr. G. Munaratnam to the lowest cadre of an employee serving over here. They have not identified or stratified the distinctions, and they have said there are no first among equals. See, you must be aware of a particular scholar, Stephen Hawking. He had a debilitating neurological disorder. That's why his entire body progressively got paralyzed. He could move only 2 fingers. Then a machine was devised. I think he's a professor in physics, astrophysics in Cambridge University. No part of his body, because he was spastic when he was born, lack of oxygen to the brain at the time of birth. That's why there was progressive degeneration of his entire faculties of brain, and he's credited with having the highest IQ after Einstein. The Big Bang theory he has developed. Why I'm telling about him is, when it comes to this stratification, he has said, although he's a non-believer, he has never believed in God. He said, I don't believe in God. If at all God is there, he's a very disciplined man. He never interferes with the nature. Nature takes its own course in an orderly manner. That's why, perhaps by nature, we are predisposed towards having stratification. When it comes to the stratification, in a microcosmic world, which is the representative of the world is family. In family, who stands at the highest is the father, the breadwinner. Because we are patrilineal system, not matrilineal, something like number 3 parts, or some states in Northeast. He stands at the highest. And who stands at the lowest? The children. Literally and figuratively as well, they are at the receiving end. That's why even we have the saying, of course, everything that's uttered in Sanskrit may not be Vedic utterance. Sometimes there can be things which may not be really palatable, which may not be scientifically correct. Though not most of them, some of them. Dandam dasigunam bhavet. Rod, spare the rod, spoil the child. Corporal punishment we are talking about. See, it's now been stated that it should be applied against the father. It's been stated that it should be applied against the child. Now we are concerned with the child. Because of the stereotype notions we have. We always take pride in our cultural heritage. And we boast of and don't admit on any limitations when it comes to the operation of the society. But internationally, when data have been gathered, we have not stood anything different when it comes to abuse of the children. We're as good as, or rather as bad as, the rest of the world. That's why there was a crying need to have a legislation to come to the rescue of these people. In a pre-reading translation of Rabindranath Tagore's Gitanjali, Chalam wrote, Gaddi parakalu yantachinni padalu meevu, bhumanta me padala krinde. 1/3 of the population, as we say, are the children, but we all live for our children. That's why the rest of 2/3 also live for children. That's why the world belongs to them. That's why we have a session today focusing on the rights of the children. I've seen the name as it's been assigned to it. It's a workshop. It set me thinking again, because we, initially as lawyers, now as judicial officers, we deal in words. As Bologna says in Shakespeare's Hamlet, words, 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 nothing but words. We deal in them. And we try to have finer distinctions of these words. Then, true to the sense of judicial mind, I also set on thinking, What is the purpose of using workshop instead of something like a seminar, a colloquium, something like that? I tell you, when it comes to workshop, perhaps my brothers, my colleagues could have had some thought applied to it. That's how I felt. The workshop is an interactive session where it's not something like somebody speaks, the other man listens. It is focusing on an area, problem-solving area, and evolving ideas and sharing them. That's where the workshop comes. It is practical in orientation. When it comes to some sort of a symposium or a seminar, it is dissemination of information. Here, since it's been termed as a workshop, I believe it's going to be truly an interactive session with all the officers and the police officers, the media, and the other people who have become part of it. As I could conclude, I should say, thanks to the RASS, the glorious organization here, which has transcended the regional boundary. Now it has transcended the national boundary, and it's one of the apex non-governmental organizations of India.